What's poppin'? It's your girl, Black Diamond Misfit, and this is part 2 of me talking about my daughter. I left off with my daughter's father, Nana Bella's, Carlos Ortiz. That's who I was talking about. And I was saying I also call him son as well. And he writes me all the time. And he made this beautiful scarf. I don't know how you would say it, but and he's so talented. And he made that for Nana Bella and Chula. And he writes me all the time a card saying thank you. And he calls me Ma and Pa. He calls me Ma and my husband Pop. And that's Bella's father. Now, mind you, I love both my sons, my son-in-laws. I'm always going to say that. I love them both. Eric, Chula's father, if it wasn't for him, Jesus Christ, Jehovah God, my granddaughter wouldn't be here today. Because he made the welfare check call. And that's when they found my daughter. And my granddaughter. So both my granddaughters have the best fathers ever. And they couldn't have been more blessed than that. They have the best fathers. They really do. So, mind you, as a grieving mother, like I told you, I buried another child, a son. Now, can you imagine? I'm going to take you with me real quick. Can you imagine, as a young child, being in foster home, to group home, to foster home, never knowing if you're ever going to get to come home for good, starting by the age of maybe 6 years old. And you're going to group home, foster home to foster home. Things are happening to you in the foster homes. Nobody asking you, are you okay? Checking on you. Nobody ever worrying about you, ever. You running away and nobody even reporting you missing. When you do get to go home on the weekends, you don't really want to go. You really don't want to be there because nothing's there is yours, and you know you're getting picked on. Could you imagine not ever hearing the words, I love you? Can you imagine you not ever getting a hug? Can you imagine you don't know where mother lives or have a telephone number, but they have a relationship? Well, your mother has a relationship with your other siblings, but you. She doesn't have a relationship with you, only with the other siblings. Can you imagine not ever getting a phone call saying, happy birthday? Well, all those things I never got. I never got a hug. I never got the words, I love you. and I never got to hear happy birthday. And as old as I am, and she's still alive, I only got to see her one time for maybe less than 10 minutes at my daughter's funeral. Left, and that was the first time I seen her in 15 years. Can you imagine, as a young child, never ever getting any of those things? Now, mind you, the person who she said was my father, well, he was in prison on and off, and I was never there at the house to see him like that. So I never got a happy birthday, I love you, or a hug from the only person who was my parent at that time, was my mother. I never got that. So when I tell you I love all of my children, I love them all. And I wanted every last one of them, just on the strength so that way I could have somebody to love. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm making these YouTube channels, well, these YouTube videos for everybody, especially my grandchildren and my children, because it's my truth and I'm the only one that can tell it. So, by that being said, from my daughter passing, an untimely death, I want to say to all of the parents, because I didn't know what she was struggling with. I knew sometimes, I honestly, in my heart, I thought she would just, I really honestly thought that she was, even though she was engaged, but I honestly just thought that she was doing something that I wouldn't approve of. Because she kept on getting tattoos and stuff like that. Or honestly, I thought she was really hanging around people, should I say, that I wouldn't approve of. Because there is certain people I used to tell her, princess, I don't want you with that person. And she said, she always told me about it. Now she goes, now, you know what, mommy, I understand when you say that you didn't want me, to be around this person. Because she goes, because I know how they are, and I can only imagine with Chula, I wouldn't want her to be around certain people too. So she goes, I get what you're saying. So that's what I thought she was doing. I honestly really thought that she was being around somebody who I wouldn't approve of. So I want to tell you that to the young people out there, if your parent is telling you that person is not your friend, believe them. They see shit that you don't. If your parent is telling you that, believe them. Because let me tell you some good shit. I was right. Because for the people who knew what she was struggling with, that knew that she had a habit, you didn't do, this is for the people who knew that. You didn't do her any justice by not telling her that she had a problem. You didn't do her any justice not telling her mama that she had a problem. You didn't hold her secret. You wasn't being loyal, holding her secret that she had a problem. Because look at her. Where is she now? This is for the person or the people who knew she had a habit and didn't tell me or told her. Just because you kept her secret didn't mean you were doing the right thing. You didn't help her. And I know who knew that she had a problem because I have her phone. Try that. So this goes out to all you people who are struggling and parents who don't see stuff. If you have it in the back of your mind or something like that, me learning from this experience of what happened to my daughter, we can't assume. We can't assume. And yes, my daughter was 28 years old, so I had to balance it out to where I didn't want to be in her business because she had 2 kids at the time, so I didn't want her to be like, oh, you're overstepping your boundaries with me. I didn't want to do that because she would have these times, inconsistent times to where she just did not want to answer the door, she didn't want to answer the phone, and she didn't want to talk and stuff like that. So it was new to me, and if I can just get a hello or a text, I was fine with that because I got a piece of her. That right there made me happy. Okay, she answered the phone, or she texted me, she says she's okay. All right, she said we can come over. I was happy with that. Just like the day before she passed, I was with her. My husband and I were with her. We went to Taco Bell. I held the baby. The baby was, laying down. She was quiet. Yes, there was somebody there. But I said to her, I was like, he was about to come because I was about to leave. I was like, well, he's about to leave too because we're about to leave. And she said, no. He's fine. And those are the words. And I wish I could take that back and just said, no, let's go. Because that was supposedly her friend who left her there along with my grandbaby, God forbid, to die. There's no real friends. No more. I stopped using the word friends a long time ago. And if you go to my videos, you'll see the reason why I stopped calling people my friends. You can't trust them. And I used to tell my daughter, listen, people are wondering how you get you sticking up with your bills. You got your house laid. It's nice. People are wondering how you keep getting these good-looking men. People want to know, and it was her personality. It was her personality. Her personality was so hype, like pushing P for life. Like she was a vibe. She was a vibe. My daughter Princess was the vibe. She was the vibe. She was the vibe. And the only thing I can say is to the young people out there, you don't even have to be young. If your parent is telling you something, if they say, listen, that person is not your friend, that person's sketchy, please believe them. Because every last person that my daughter cared about, I say they all let her down, because I don't hear shit from none of them. Once in a blue moon, I got a text. I put a video up on Facebook. Nobody commented on her Facebook page. No, none of her supposedly real true friends did not comment, didn't say anything. And I don't believe in godmothers and all this kind of other shit if you ain't real with it. And first of all, I wouldn't want anybody to be a godmother to any of my children or any of my grandchildren if they ever got their children taken away, or if they've been using drugs. If you're in the drug, Chandra, I wouldn't want nobody to be around my children or my grandchildren. Try that. So every person that ever called my daughter their friend, you're a liar. And you don't know what loyalty is, because you could have helped my daughter. And yes, I blame a piece of you who knew. Absolutely. You ain't shit. And you know who you are. You ain't shit. Because you know I got her phone and I read every last messages. You all ain't shit. So, on that note, that took you down a memory lane of my piece of my life real quick about me not getting any of that and everything. At least I know that my daughter knew her mama loves her. At least my daughter knows I love her unconditionally. Always will. And my story's not over yet. I have a lot to tell you all. Because a lot has happened since my daughter's death. So, on that note, I'm waiting for something to come in the mail. So that way I have my receipts. And when that comes in the mail, that will give you a piece of me again, that how people can live a lie. Families can live a lie. And I have to wait until I get this in the mail. It's my receipt. And so I'm gonna call it a day. For now, this is the Black Diamond Misfit. This is part 2 of my daughter Princess. This is the Black Diamond Misfit. This is my story, and I'm the only one that can tell it.